Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday night. I am in my apartment and I'm laying down because I am tired. And I didn't feel like even moving or getting up, but I did feel like hopping on Facebook Live tonight to tell you about a couple of things and to thank you guys because so many of you have sent me just awesome emails over the past couple of weeks of me launching two new podcast shows, In the Mind of Fraser and also Mindful Mondays. And I've just gotten really great, heartfelt feedback. I'm actually almost emotional about it, which is crazy. But you guys have just said how like Mindful Mondays is changing your life and, just how you are liking the new diverse content. And the reason I get so emotional is I just got this really, really sweet message from a woman today who basically said that the Mindful Monday podcast, which is all about mindful eating and loving your body just as you are, she just said that she's going through a lot in her life and she feels that she eats basically to cope with that emotion, with a very difficult situation. I'm sorry, I didn't even expect that I'd get so emotional about it. But she's basically talking about how she eats because she's just had a really strained relationship with her mom for years. And so I love feedback like that. And she just is finding a lot of comfort and help in that Mindful Monday podcast. So that's why I'm doing it. That's why I always want my podcasts and shows to have so much depth and to really touch upon issues that you and I are dealing with. And for me, food and body image was so hard for me to overcome. So I felt so emotional today when I got that because she said, she's beginning to learn what it's like to not eat away your emotions, and that food is not the answer when it comes to dealing with really tough stuff, because we all have really difficult things in our lives. Relationships that end, or strained relationships with our parents. So I just wanted to say thank you. Please, you can always email me, sarah@heyfrase.com. I hope that my material always entertains you, always inspires you, and that's why I do these topics, and so I want more of those to come. Hi, Ben Levin and Kessie. Oh my God, I'm probably saying it wrong. James, you said, I love your podcast. You're very informative. Hi, Julie. Thank you. I also want to say that I had a real moment this weekend, too, because I posted about Colin Kaepernick and the take a knee situation. And it was really difficult for me because I had a lot of people on my Facebook page. You can go on. If you're watching this, you're already seeing it. But it's the first time in a long time I've had such hate. So I'm at this really funky, I'm having just a really funny night where I'm like inundated with emotion of people who are writing to me and saying, hey, look, your podcast is changing my life. And then people on my Facebook page who are like, I'll never listen to you again or follow you, and I've been following you for years, and you support Colin Kaepernick, and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and all this stuff, which, believe me, I am used to criticism and I am used to feedback. But I wanted to ask you guys if, where you're at with that, because tomorrow on the Hey Frase podcast, I'm thinking about having some people on, kind of a round table of talking about the whole take a knee thing. And, is it really, when people take a knee and they don't stand up for the national anthem, are they being disrespectful to people in the military and our country, or are they peacefully protesting? And I get really caught up because I see both sides. But mostly what I get also very emotional about is I can't imagine what it must feel like to be discriminated against. And thank you, John. You said you have the right to support him. Black Lives Matter. Hi, Meredith. Thank you. But I can't imagine what it must be like to be discriminated against. And I just, I know what it's like. I think a lot of people were very angry on my Facebook page, and when I first saw Colin Kaepernick kneel, I didn't get it. Who really believed like we should be standing for this country, and how, and I hated the way that Colin Kaepernick looked and everything. But the more I started researching it, and the more I just see and how I have such great Black friends and Asian friends and Hispanic friends, and they talk about the differences. And so I just want to also leave you with, I hope my shows always make us possibly think differently. And I just want you to know, sometimes, like, as a white person, I get it. Like, I think it's hard to put ourselves in people of color's shoes, but I hope that when you come to my page, you will always be open-minded, because I support everybody, and I never want people to feel discriminated against. I never want people to feel less than, and I feel that this country is about getting a fair shake, right? No matter who we are. So anyway, I'm just like very emotional tonight. I don't know why. I don't know why, but lots of those things have been lots of those things have been on my mind, and I just wanted to thank you for being on my page and always making me think, and I hope that my show always challenges you to think differently. And I just want to say to the people who were very upset at me that I think, hopefully we can just take a minute and step back and put ourselves in someone else's shoes and know what they're going through. So anyway, I don't even know why I'm crying so much. Oh, anyhow, Jessica, thank you for joining. Lastly, I was just super emotional. If you guys are just joining the video, I've just been really emotional because I've gotten some great feedback about the podcast. And then I've just been really challenged by this whole take a knee thing, because whenever I talk about it on my Facebook page, I get people who greatly support it, and then other people who are like, I don't know. I guess I'm just disappointed that we're at a place in this country, or even on my Facebook page, where we just seem so angry at each other. And that's sad, because I think, I just want everybody to feel like they never have to be afraid, because that's what this country's about. But anyhow, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm so emotional. Stephen, thank you for joining. Hi, Spider. Provocative is good. Oh, good. I hope you agree. Lastly, I'm probably also going to get emotional about this, but for those of you who subscribe to my newsletter, which you can just go to heyfrase.com if you want kind of announcements beforehand, but hi, Erica. Hugs from Maryland. Thank you. I need hugs tonight. I don't know why I'm so emotional, but I think just like lots of things that are happening are great things, but then I also just get very upset when I see us being so divided, because I truly know that America is the greatest country on earth. This is where I get a little like patriotic, but we truly are the greatest country on earth. And I just don't want to see us fight, which I know sounds like really very I don't know, juvenile, like I'm 2 years old. But anyway, I just hate to see people upset on my Facebook page, because I want it to be a place of love and entertainment and inspiration. And this weekend was just kind of sad, because people were just so angry at me and at each other. And I just want us to focus our anger on other places that aren't as great as America. So how's that? How's that for being basic? But anyway, lastly, today I said I had a big announcement, which is, this is something else I'll probably end up crying about on Facebook. But for the past 9 months with Fox 5, and I love Fox 5, they've been incredible to me. We've been working on a true crime podcast, and the true crime podcast is about the Savopoulos family and their housekeeper, Vera Figueroa, who were murdered in 2005. You might remember, in Northwest DC. So tomorrow is going to be the preview audio of that, a podcast. You can search the Mansion Murders right now on Fox 5 and subscribe, because tomorrow it will drop. The preview audio will drop. And so we really are going to want to hear your feedback. if you tune in tomorrow on Fox, I'll be on at 7:40 a.m. in the morning, and I'll be telling you a lot more about what this podcast entails. But it is my first true crime podcast. I'm sure you'll give me lots of good feedback and probably lots of bad feedback too. But I also think it's a really important story to tell. And it's the first time I've gone more in depth I really don't consider myself a journalist. I consider myself a storyteller for people who have a story to tell. That's really what I do. I love people, and I like to tell your stories. And I hope that I always come from a place where people will always share with me stories that are difficult. So I encourage you to definitely tune in tomorrow at 7:40 a.m. to Channel 5. And if you're in the DC area, if you're not in the DC area, you can hop on my Facebook page or my YouTube page, which is just Hey Frase, and there's a preview video there of the Mansion murders. So tomorrow is going to be a big day for me, and hopefully I will keep it in check. But that story is also super emotional, and has been a labor of love for me, and my first time ever, along with a couple of great people at Fox 5. We've produced it, edited, wrote it, went out and did the interviews. So in the name of the podcast, Carlos, thanks for joining. The name of the Fox 5 podcast is called The Mansion Murders. So you can start looking up my YouTube page. You can be ready to subscribe. You seriously have 64 people watching you. What a big deal. I think that, Crystal, they're probably watching because they're like, this woman is nutsack crazy. She's crying about a podcast. But I am crying about the United States, too, because I love this country. Kathy Prem, thank you for joining. So tune in tomorrow, and we're going to have lots of discussions about the Mansion Murder podcast, about the Savopoulos family. Very, very sad story. But also a lot of question around it and a lot of mystery. And have they made the arrest of the right person? And did one person do it by himself? So there's a lot that we're going to be discussing. So you guys, I just want to say goodnight. I love you. I hope that, here I go, I'll get emotional again. But I just hope that we can always have really open conversations. And I hope that you will come to my Facebook page to do that, because I always want you to know that when I post questions and I post things, it is never to hurt people or to divide people. It's always to just go, hey, let's just talk about this more. So anyway, Danny says, don't cry. Thank you for using your white privilege to, I think it's gone, to something about raise awareness for inequalities. Yes, that's really what I want to do, because I definitely am a person, I can admit this now because I get it, but I was a person who always would get very sensitive when people would be like, white people, white privilege, and, what does that mean? And I would always think to myself, well, my parents didn't have anything, and I came up from nothing, and but that's not what white privilege is, which I learned from Brene Brown. If you haven't watched Brene Brown's video on white privilege, you should, because it really helped me figure it out. And it's like, white privilege is the fact that we never have to worry about being pulled over because of our skin tone. And we have the luxury of sticking our head in the sand, because if nothing gets resolved with Black Lives Matter, for us white people, we just go on. So anyhow, that's what I always try to do, and hopefully can bring some awareness. Spread the love. That's right. Yes, Sarah. Alania, oh my God, I'm probably saying it wrong. Anyway, but you guys know, look, I'm just like a bumbling mess, because I care about you guys so much, and you guys just are so good to me. I can't believe that people take the time to write the emails that they write to me. And then when I see people on my Facebook page kind of going after each other, it makes me sad. So anyway, I love you. Good night. We'll have a lot to talk about tomorrow with the Mansion Murders preview podcast coming. And anyway, I hope that you hug your conservative neighbor or your liberal neighbor, I don't know, and that we all unite, because we truly are the greatest country on earth. And I want to see us divide ourselves over, well, really no nation, because we're all headed to the same place, right? But in the end, hopefully we can just take our divisiveness and then spend it somewhere else, because it's America and we are the greatest country, whatever. Sorry, that sounded elitist. Anyway, you guys, thank you for showing me the love tonight. I really needed it, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.